Hey guys, this is God of Politics. Welcome back to a brand new video, and in this video I'm going to be doing my Super Tuesday 2 prediction. Now, there isn't really an official name for this Tuesday of elections from the states of Idaho, North Dakota, Washington, Michigan, Missouri, and Mississippi. Those are the states voting this week. There's not really a name for it, but I'm just going to call it Super Tuesday 2 because there are a lot of big states going this week that could tell how other states are going to vote and tell how the rest of this primary election is going to go. So I'm going to predict the delegate count, not the popular vote, but the delegate count for each of these states. And then we'll see over here on the left how that is going to affect the overall results, whether Biden will reach an outright majority before the convention, whether it will go to contested convention, which I think is really unlikely at this point, given that there are only two candidates, other than Tulsi Gabbard, who does have two delegates that she got from American Samoa because she is Samoan, of course, although Bloomberg did win that. But we will see who will be, after my prediction, who will be leading in the delegate count and how they will set it up for the rest of the primary. So we'll start with the state of Michigan, the biggest one. I do think that Biden is obviously in 2016. This was an upset victory for Bernie Sanders. The polls showed Hillary Clinton winning by a good amount, and then Bernie ended up winning by about 3 percentage points. But I don't think it's going to be that way this time. Biden hasn't expanded his lead since Super Tuesday in Michigan. I think Biden is going to get 80 delegates, and then Sanders will get the rest of the 45. Obviously, none of these people are going to get delegates, not even Tulsi Gabbard. But Warren, Buttigieg, Bloomberg, and Klobuchar did get delegates. They're just not in the race anymore. But I'll give them results. But yeah, I do think that Biden is going to blow Sanders out of the water in terms of delegate count. Whether he actually gets this much of the vote is a different question. But I do think that I think this will be what the result is, around this 64 to 36 in terms of the popular vote and the delegates, actually. We'll then go over down to Missouri here. I do think that Missouri, Biden is going to get 44 delegates, which would be a large amount, just above what he got in Michigan. And Sanders will get the rest of them, 24. And the thing that you'll see for the rest of this prediction is that Sanders is doing not as well with working class white voters. Those voters are often going to Biden. You see the Latino voters in states like California and Nevada have gone to Bernie Sanders, but Biden has been eating into Sanders' lead on the working class vote while Biden maintains his strength among the black vote, which will help Biden in the state of Missouri, which will give him a huge victory. Um, Next, we will go down to Mississippi here. I think that Bernie will basically, again, just get blown out of the water here. He'll get 7 delegates, and then Biden will get the rest of them. He'll get 80% of the delegates. He has such a strong hold on the Deep South here. The black voters here always turn out for him. We saw that in Alabama, Arkansas, Oklahoma, Tennessee, even states like Texas, and obviously Tennessee, South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia. All the black voters are turning out for Biden in huge troves, and they are turning out, unlike Bernie's voters. Bernie says he's going to get the largest youth turnout ever, and then the states that have higher turnout, Biden wins. States like Virginia, it had a huge increase in turnout, and then Biden won it by just the same margin that Hillary Clinton won it by, with all the other moderates in the race. And I think that shows you a lot about whether Bernie Sanders actually has a chance in this primary. Next, we will go up to North Dakota here. I think Biden is going to pull off, I don't know whether to call this an upset or not, but Biden will get the most delegates here. Sanders did win this state pretty easily in 2016, but like I said, the working class white vote has been eaten into by Joe Biden. Obviously, there are very little black people here in the state of North Dakota, but Biden, I guess, resonates with those people, and he's getting the vote that Hillary Clinton was not able to get, and that's been going to prove to be very beneficial to him. Next, we'll go to the state of Idaho, and I think this will also be considered somewhat of an upset, but the models are predicting this result to happen, so I think that Idaho will also go to Biden. Biden will narrowly win in terms of delegates. The actual result in terms of the popular vote might be closer than this, but in terms of the delegates, I do think that Biden is going to have a 2 delegate edge over Bernie Sanders because of the working class white vote that Biden has been eating into. And then finally, the final state we'll go to before Democrats abroad is the state of Washington, where I think Biden is just going to eke it out. This state is basically a toss-up state here. Um, I do think Biden is going to get 46, and then Sanders will get 43, because I think that while this may be Bernie's strength, a lot of the youth voters up in Seattle and that kind of area have been turning out for him, and they will continue to turn out for him. But I think that what we saw in Texas, similar to what we saw in Texas, was that Biden got so many votes in the rural areas, plus getting at least some of the vote in the larger counties, that he will be able to push himself over the top. And the models did not predict states like Texas and states like Oklahoma or Massachusetts, obviously Massachusetts and Maine and those kind of states to be as close as they were. And then Biden ends up winning uh, Massachusetts, for example, by a very large margin. I think that the models they underestimated Biden's ability to do well amongst the working class voters, and that's why, as you'll see here, after we do Democrats abroad, where I do think Biden is actually going to win Democrats abroad. Bernie Sanders won it last time; he'll just eke it out here. I'm not sure. We don't have many models or anything to go off of, but I think Biden will barely win it given the fact that Hillary Clinton lost it by a fairly substantial margin, but Biden has more name recognition being the vice president for a time, and I think that he'll win because of that. Um, and if you look at the total results, we see here that Biden has won everything. He's won all the primaries and Democrats abroad, and that's going to be very beneficial for him. It basically gives no chance for Bernie Sanders to come back and win this thing because of the fact that Biden has proven he can win basically anywhere except for places like California and Nevada, and the only place like that that's going to vote again is Arizona a week later, but that's a state that also has a lot of Mormon voters. It also has a lot of working class white voters. So I can't really see any path to victory here for Bernie Sanders after this point, because you have to look. You see, after this point, he's behind by 162 delegates, according to my prediction. And you see the states coming up next. Florida, he's going to get blown out in. Illinois, he'll get blown out. Ohio, he'll get blown out. Arizona, he'll make it a bit closer, but it still won't be very close. Biden will win by a large margin. Georgia, Biden will win by a huge margin. And the only chance I really see for Bernie Sanders is if maybe Joe Biden has a bad debate performance. Maybe the Republican investigation into him actually finds something. But really, I've looked at all the models, looked at all the polls. Nothing looks good for Bernie Sanders at this point. And this is a huge upset. Remember, we looked before Super Tuesday, or just before the South Carolina primary. Even after the South Carolina primary, it looked like Bernie had a shot at North Carolina, had a shot at Virginia, had a shot at Oklahoma or Texas. And obviously, it looked like he was easily going to win Minnesota and Maine, and then probably going to win Massachusetts. But you see, the establishment kind of got around Biden. We've seen two new endorsements from Kamala Harris and Cory Booker are going to aid Joe Biden a lot. All the establishment Democrats are going around Biden, which they are not doing for Bernie. Bernie doesn't have the same kind of endorsements, the same kind of support. And in general, he has that small, lively base of the Bernie bros that are really loud, but he doesn't have much else from that. He has the 30-40% support base that he got in 2016. He might even have less than that now because sure, he's gained the Latino vote that doesn't really turn out anyway. He has an increased youth turnout, and the white working class is going away from him. So he may turn out to get less vote than what he got in 2016. But this is what I perceive the map to be after this. We see Biden is filling in the map green here. Bernie will not win any states in the March 10th Super Tuesday 2 primaries, according to my prediction, and then Biden could go on and win every single state after that, and this will be a walk in the park for Joe Biden, obviously, unless something goes terribly wrong for him, which is not another realm of possibility, but this is how I predict it to be now. Biden 860 delegates, Bernie Sanders 698, Warren 44, Buttigieg 26, Bloomberg 24, Klobuchar 7, Gabber 2. There's not going to be any contested convention. Biden is going to win outright. I'll do my next prediction video right before the next primaries where we have Arizona, Ohio, Illinois, and Florida. But yeah, thank you all for watching this video. Please like and subscribe as always, and I will see you guys later.